viewer, I'm Mohammed Kabir. In this tutorial, we're going to talk about how to add mixed number. In this tutorial, before we proceed to how to add mixed number, I'm going to go brief on the concept of fraction. What is a fraction? A fraction is a part of a whole number. Let's take an instance on an example of a bar of soap. This is a bar of soap. A bar of soap is an entity, that means one is a bar of soap. So we want to get a fraction from this bar of soap. We can divide this fraction into different parts or into more than one equal part, because it's already one. We want to divide it more than one. So let's divide it into two equal parts to explain a fraction. So this fraction, this equal part we divided it into, that means this bar of soap has become 2. Since it has become 2, it can be written in this form. This part is 1, this part is 1. The total bar of soap is 2, that is 1 over 2. This other one is one side. The total bar of soap is 2, 1 over 2. So when we add these two bars of soap together, which is half bar of soap and half, it becomes an entity. That means we were able to what? Get a fraction from a whole number. That means a fraction is a part of a whole number, or is a part of a whole number, just like what I said. So from here, move towards examples of fraction. For us to know this example of fraction, we should know this kind of fraction. This fraction has a name. This is what? The example of this fraction is proper fraction. It is proper fraction because the numerator, which is the number at the upper part, is numerator, while the number here is what? The denominator. So when the numerator is less than the denominator, it is called a proper fraction. But when it's otherwise, it is improper. Otherwise, in the sense that when the denominator is less than the numerator. For instance, you have 3 over 2. It's different from this fraction. You observe that the numerator here is greater than the denominator, or what? The denominator is less than the numerator. It is called improper fraction. To cut it short, having gotten this concept, this is the examples of a fraction. We want to talk about mixed number. Mixed number is what? Mixed number is what? Coming together of what? A whole and a fraction. That is a mixed number. For instance, you have 2 whole number 1 over 2. This is called a mixed number. The 2 here is called a whole number, while this is called what? A fraction. Let's proceed to the topic of today, addition of what? Mixed number. So addition of mixed number. How to add mixed number. So let's simplify the equation on the board. We ask to simplify this. The first one is 1 whole number 2 over 3 plus 3 whole number 1 over 2. So the simple way to deal with this, we know we have a mixed number here, we also have a mixed number here. So we'll bring out the number, which is what? 1 plus 2 over 3, which is equivalent to this. We also do this, which is plus 3 plus 1 over 2. From here, we have to bring the whole numbers together and the fraction together. It will now be 1 plus 3 plus 2 over 3 plus 1 over 2. Why I did this, I brought these two together with the operations and this together with the operations. So what do? We say what next is what? To add this whole number together. 1 plus 3 is what? 4 plus these two numbers. The LCM of this, you look for a number, a factor. The LCM of these two numbers, that means a factor that can divide by this without remainder. And that same factor will divide by 2 without a number is 6. Which is 6. That factor divided by 3 is 2. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Multiplied by 2 is what? 4. Plus, what is that same factor that can divide this 2 without remainder? which is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 multiplied by this is 3 multiplied by 1 is 3. This is it. We move to the next step. 4 plus this. Mathematically, when you have addition here, or what subtraction, when you have two denominators that are the same, that are common, we take one of it. So 6, we take one of it, which is 6. 4 plus 3 is what? 7. So from here, we'll say that 4 plus 7 over 6 is the answer to it, but we can write it in this form. The 6, how many 6 can you get in this? Is 1. We are equally having a whole number here. Plus what? 7 plus 1. 1 times. Remainder 1 over 6. So in a nutshell, we say 4 plus 1 plus 1 over 6. When this whole number is added to this, it becomes what? 5 plus 1 over 6. So we conclude by saying that the answer to this is 5 whole number 1 over 6 as the answer to this. So therefore, 1 whole over 2 over 3 plus 3 whole number 1 over 2 is equals to 5 whole number 1 over 6 as the answer. So we want to solve the next example. This next example is this. 8 plus 2 whole number 1 over 2. 8 plus 2 whole number 1 over 2. What do we do here? We are having a whole number with what? A mixed number. We say 8 plus 2 plus 1 over 2. We bring together the what? The whole numbers, which is 8 plus 2 is 10 plus what? 1 over 2. So our answer here will be 10 whole number 1 over 2. Which means that 8 plus this is what? 10 whole number 1 over 2. We move to the third question. Third question is 2 whole number 2 over 5 plus 2 over 2 over 5 plus what? 1 whole number 3 over 7. This is a mixed number. So we have to write it in this form. 2 plus 2 whole over 5 plus 1 plus 3 over 7. So add the whole number together. It becomes 2 plus 1 plus 2 over 5 plus 3 over 7. So 2 plus 1 is 3 plus the LCM of 5 and 7. We look for the LCM. The LCM means what? A factor that can divide this without remainder and also divide this without remainder, which is 35. So we write 35 here. 35 in 5 is 7. 7 multiplied by 2 is what? 14. Plus the LCM of these two is also what? 30 what? 5. So 35 in 7 is what? 5. 5 multiplied by 3 is what? 15. So from here we say 5 plus what? 14. 5 plus these two, 35, 35. Since we are having addition here and the LCM are common, we take one of it, which is what? 35. So we add up these two, which is 29. 14 plus 15, 29. So from here, we conclude by saying that, can this be divisible? No, it cannot be divisible because it's a proper fraction. Because so the numerator is less than this. So we conclude by saying that the answer is 3 whole number 29 over 35. Thank you very much for viewing. If you find this content interesting, don't hesitate to subscribe to my YouTube channel on Intensive Maths Clinic. And if you have questions in regards to this, comment on my Facebook page on what Intensive Maths Clinic. God bless you and thank you.